Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, we do!
Last we left off, our gathering of friends have been traversing northward along the Amber Road with the distant destination of Zadash, one of the larger cities of the Brindalian Empire, as your destination. Upon traveling, you passed a caravan, spent an evening amongst trees, where you found a wayward cluster of wandering buffalo. Continued northward for a second day, rushed on past sunset to rest in the city of Allfield, a small farming town that's along the way to Zadash. However, upon noticing that some of the buildings on the eastern side of town began to light up with what appeared to be flame, you began to approach rather rapidly, seeing members of the city, citizens fleeing and screaming, and apparently there seemed to be some sort of attack. Upon going into the town, you realized that a number of these buildings were being set fire by an incursion of gnolls. You were immediately brought in by the Watchmaster Bryce, who offered to pay you for each set of gnoll ears that were brought to them, and you jumped into the fray, managed to kill quite a few, many of them still left with their quarry, it seems, which happened to be quite a number of bodies and or citizens still living that were dragged off into the ashen and cloud-covered night. Upon returning, many of you bruised, beaten, and at one point in danger of worse, you were given an evening's rest Mead and Mead Tavern, and were told if you were interested in pursuing future coin and helping with the current conflict nearing the city, to go ahead and meet Bryce, the Broad Barn.
The Broad Barn. That's why I wrote Broad Barn down.
That is why. So, you guys all bundled up into a singular room above the floor of the Feed and Mead, found yourself exhausted, passed out, and got an evening's rest. So, you've all gotten a long rest, you've healed up, you've recovered your abilities, and as the uncomfortable warmth of the morning kicks in, with your small room and a number of warm bodies encompassing a very tight and not very drafty space, the partially humid early hours draw you from consciousness. You all begin to stretch your sore muscles and decide what endeavors await you.
What do you guys want to do today?
That bed was not my favorite.
I liked it.
A little stiff.
You should try sleeping on the floor. It's actually really good. Just support.
It's good for your back. It's really true.
Yeah.
You use a pillow or you just on the floor?
Pillow.
Do you have to pray over your swords or anything this morning?
No. That's everything's fine. They just sort of they do what they need to do.
Oh.
I just have to keep them clean.
Yeah, well, we were sharing a room one night, and Molly has a ritual. Where I think it's just part of his, custom.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Interesting.
performs over his swords.
Yeah, I have to take care of them, else they'll stop working, of course.
Sure.
Do you need to feed?
They do actually. Yeah, I've got to feed them some. Well, it's complicated. I don't like to go too deep into it, but I've got to use my bloodline on occasion. Actually, since we're already on the road, I should be honest. I wasn't entirely telling the truth when I talked to you that night.
No.
Well,
Stop it.
So honest. What is a
you're just a bundle of truth too, aren't you?
what is a bloodline?
I suppose it's only fair. I did tell you that these swords are special and that they sort of use the blood of my family to activate themselves.
Yeah.
And I know I might have said I was from a long line of priests, and that...
Oh my god, you killed your whole family.
I didn't kill my whole family.
Oh, okay. Never mind, keep going. I'm sorry.
Our family were less the priests and more the sacrifices, and we may have stolen the swords and run. I've been trying to keep a bit of a low profile when it comes to some of the authorities.
Yeah, for fear of your life, you ran.
It's been a long time, but I'd rather not run into them.
What gods were you being sacrificed to?
Oh, I couldn't tell. It was my parents. I was just a wee by the time that happened.
So is there a roving band of priests that are trying to find you right now?
Oh, I hope not. It's been a long time.
And where's home? Where's this place that you stole?
My parents never spoke of it.
And you got to
Somewhere out east.
the circus from that how?
Well, it was a bit of a mess, but just sort of ended up there eventually. Just looking for a place where I could rest, I suppose.
It's funny you gave me an answer, but you didn't really give me an answer.
Well, I don't know you that well.
Kind of what he's been doing like this whole time.
That requires a drink.
I understand that sentiment. Trying to find a little respite, little peace. Yeah.
It's a good place to be if you want to run but not run.
Are there any others of your family out there on the run?
Not that I've ever met.
Was it just your parents and you that were being sacrificed?
You know, I don't know. I never thought to ask.
Did they want to kill you or just take your blood?
Apparently they needed us alive for it, so there was that.
Oh, so it wasn't so bad. They just slowly
Doesn't
drained
sound
you.
that bad, right? Yeah, they're not going to kill you.
So I was told.
I mean, isn't that kind of what you're doing to yourself on like a daily
It is
basis?
what I do now. It's not that bad though. It's you know, it doesn't leave a mark really.
You're in control of it. You're using it for yourself.
Oh yes, of course, and it can be come in handy.
Does it have to be your blood?
Oh yes, of our bloodline apparently.
Have you tried any other bloodlines?
Well, I cut a lot of people with them. Would you like to take a run at it? You could be lucky.
I'll save that for another day.
I had a funny feeling.
And what about you, Ford? Are you going to vomit any seawater this morning? Oh, no, watch out.
Nah. Maybe we should go down and...
Yeah, I would like to take a walk and see what it is we help to save.
You can steal some things.
Now,
Well, maybe we do that second, and first we take a walk.
We could stay here forever and just kill gnolls.
That was very scary. One of them almost killed me.
But think about how good we would get over time.
That's true, the 10,000 hour rule?
and Jester, we kind of agreed not to put anyone in harm's way in an excessive manner, so
When did we agree that?
did we not?
I don't remember that either.
I don't recall making that arrangement.
Did we agree to that?
Maybe I
When-
thought that was an unspoken thing.
Usually when you agree to something, you have to say it out loud. Most of the time.
I believe you're right.
Unless it's like... we just agreed to it. You said it. You said it.
What did you agree to?
I can't tell. It's a secret. Oh, but she's serious about it. I can tell.
Well, my social anxiety is getting the best of me. I'm taking a walk. Goodbye. I'm gonna walk out.
As the door slams behind Caleb, briskly making his exit.
Maybe we can just stand in the middle of town and go, Bryce, until they show up, you know?
Well, in front of Broad Barn.
Okay, I have a question about this Broad Barn
Yeah.
thing. Is Broad Barn like the name of an establishment, or is Broad Barn an actual broad, like a very broad barn?
Very long barn.
It's a very big barn.
What if it's a street?
One direction.
Yeah. What
We
if?
didn't clarify, did we?
What if it's like a tavern named the Broad? I don't know. I got kind of confused
Broad
in his
Barn
delivery.
I bet we can ask the guy downstairs.
Sorry. Yeah.
We go downstairs.
Okay.
I'll follow for this.
There's Kroot still there off to the side, and what appears to be one very, very dirty and ashy civilian who is currently like slowly scarfing a meal kind of with a 1,000-yard stare. Hey, I see you're awake. Would you like breakfast?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
All right, it'll be about an hour, because it's just me.
An hour?
An hour.
All right.
It's just me.
Do you want some help?
I mean,
I'll come help you.
come on. Come on.
I'll go in for this if it means a faster breakfast.
What does the town look like when we kind of step out?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Front?
All right, so as you
How bad
emerge,
is it?
from the tavern, and Caleb, you've already seen this, you see that the fires have now been reduced to maybe a dozen wide plumes of gray-white smoke. Hardwood remains and wood frames where it appears some buildings used to be. It seemed much more dangerous and chaotic last evening, but looking at it now, the day, you can see it's no more than maybe a dozen buildings or so that were affected. They were just more centralized to cause the most chaos suddenly at that time of night. People walk past you with sacks of grain and tools, their eyes wide, darting around for unseen danger, and kind of glancing past the two tieflings, immediately, instinctually kind of step back a bit and make a wide berth. You watch children run from doorway to doorway, trying to stay out of the street as long as possible. It seems like it's trying to carry on, but it's going to be a process. You glance over near where the central portion of your conflict last night took place. where the Candle Glow Tavern is. And there you see, kind of amongst the smoldering rubble of the inn, a single halfling man kind of sifts through the wreckage, a crown's guard helping him lift heavier beams, and you see as he plucks what he can of his former life from the rubble.
Should we go over and talk to him?
Sure.
No.
You're a halfling too, so maybe you should talk to him.
Well, I'm not technically.
I'm gonna walk over.
Okay. I'll join.
All right.
All right.
We'll just go over and scare the shit out of him.
Need a hand.
You look over there, you can see what a halfling man, maybe in his 5th decade or so, has ashy blonde hair, and looks to be a face cracked by smiling, though now too dour and soot covered to see any sort of smile on his face. As he kind of pulls through some of the rubble and he's making a small pile on the side, he looks up and goes, "Oh, right, can I help you?"
We were part of this commotion last night. We were wondering if you need a hand with anything right now.
Oh, I mean, if you don't, oh,
I'm taking off.
you don't
the
have to. Okay. The halfling man goes, I appreciate the help. Name's Thaddeus. Thaddeus Candle Glow.
Oh, this was your place?
Was
Oh, wow.
20 years since I was left this place. Built by my grandpaps Redis.
Were you here when the attack happened?
Oh, I was here, and then when they all came in, I was gone. I wasn't about to stay around, and so big.
Did you happen to see where they came from?
Oh, I did not. I was in the process of cleaning dishes and dealing to a couple of my patrons. One of them, and he points over to the rubble, and you can see what looks to be a skeletal body that's kind of been partially collapsed. I suppose Lehman's probably not going to be a regular anymore. Rebuilding requires something called money. I think I'm probably going to gather what I can here and shop up north and see what other work I can get myself to.
How much gold do you need?
I don't know, build an establishment like this. I mean, not entirely certain, but I could check in. I assume it's probably a few thousand gold pieces for the structure.
Oh, I just had that too. I'm sorry, I don't have it anymore.
Who were they? What happened? Has this happened before?
Oh, it hasn't happened as long as I've been here, and I've been here most of my life here in Offfield. You hear about these things kind of wandering on the outside, and, Crown's Guard keeps you safe. Anything comes too close, they just shoot them in the face with a bunch of arrows and shit, but...
I love him so much.
Did they, Thaddeus? Did they seem to be after anything in particular? Were they here for property or people or gold or food?
They didn't take any of the worthwhile stuff, thankfully. And he points over to a pile, and you can see looks like brass, almost like an urn or a vase. It's been kind of smashed and kind of dented by the conflict. You can see bits and pieces of a few keepsakes that might be worth a little bit of money that's been brought out of it. He's like, I just mainly took all of our food stores, most of my meats, most of my salted meats, the dried meats, the fresh meats, the butchered meats. I cleared out the butcher down the street.
Shrimp, butterfly shrimp,
Coconut shrimp.
fried shrimp.
Don't engage them.
We're all gonna die now.
Curious looking face you got there.
Excuse me, was there any I saw in the middle of the fray, sir? Excuse me.
In Halfling, I say to him, I've also been a victim of a horrible attack.
Yeah, sorry. What can I do?
I'm sorry, I was part of the fray as well. I was right in the thick of it, and I saw a cart piled high with bodies. Are there people missing from town?
Quite a few. You'd have to probably ask around some of the town's guard.
Yes. How is the rest of the village fared? Is everything as poorly off as you are?
I mean, plenty of folks seem to get through this okay. They only took down a few buildings and more worried about the folks that were plucked from their homes.
Is yours the only business that was it?
I haven't looked around, to be perfectly honest. I've been a little focused on and he kind of gestures out with his hands at the rubble that was once his life.
Yeah.
Would you say that you offer a larger selection of meat than some of the other establishments in town?
Oh, well, if you're asking me, the best meat, don't know about quantity, but quality was...
I feel like I've been robbed of the experience of your fine meat products, and I, for one, would like you to rebuild so I might try some of your meats.
Well, if at some point the gracious God see fit to bequeath upon me a strike of good luck and I can get to rebuilding in my frame one day, you may be able to try one of my meats.
I'm going to just take a look. Is the friend who's dead skeletalized?
Oh yeah, well, burnt charred.
A burnt, okay.
Yeah.
Where's this butcher that you mentioned as well?
Oh, that's he kind of steps out through where the door frame kind of is still standing, the one that you defended yourself through most of that battle. Just kind of like a freestanding frame now.
Yes.
Was I in the butchers? Because that would be some like real horror level.
I think
shit.
you were in the barbecue shack.
It's kind of
I think this was a barbecue shack.
Points over to a building across the way, which is one of the buildings that was nearby. It says, there's the Ruddy Top Butcher. Well, what remains of it, and you can see that building too is it's still standing, and it's nowhere near as damaged as the candle glow in, but it's sustained quite a bit of damage. It looks like the roof has kind of fallen in.
Also, I'm sorry, Molly Mock, another question for you. Is there maybe, I hope it is still standing, but a supply store?
Yeah, if you're looking for the farming supplies, general supplies, there's
I'm sorry, I'm in the need of some incense. Would anyone...
Oh, you could probably find something like that there at the Broad Barn.
Question answered. I'm sorry, I'm standing by Ford. Back up. Question answered.
It's really, you're wondering why it's called that at this point.
But it's big.
At least wide.
Yeah.
Well, at one time it was a barn, but when his farm stopped giving up cropping, so they converted the barn itself into what was a general store because they started selling off the tools they didn't need, but that made them more money than the crops did that year, so we just started importing more tools, and for the past 30 years, the Broad Barn's been kind of our common, general supply place there on the western side of the Allfield. So if you want to...
Really fascinating.
Wow, this is really good talk that we've had.
Of course, no.
I think I'm going to go look for the Broad Barn then.
That's an idea.
Yes.
Don't pack up shop just yet. Let's see if we can do something about these terrible creatures that have been roaming around.
Maybe we'll find all
Never
of
know.
those thousands of gold for you and you can build your shop back up.
Y'all look like you're geared up to be making a mess. You're going after these things?
We are perhaps persons of action.
We're really, really, really tough.
Some of us.
He leans in.
Have no fear.
Leans in real close to you, kind of getting on his tippy toes to kind of meet your gaze, and he says, well, if you manage to go and kill some of them dog people, you tell them Thaddeus Candleglow says hi.
I will.
Thank you. Good?
Here. It's like kind of a moldy donut that I Be well, child. The traveler is with you.
Not a child, but I appreciate the gesture.
Oh, please.
Anyway, I should get back to picking up the pieces. Excuse me.
While they were having that conversation, I'm like hanging back with Ford. Question. If you were a crazy, ravenous dog humanoid person thing,
Yeah.
what would make you really hungry all of a sudden? I didn't phrase that question very well.
No, I knew where you were going with
Yeah.
it, though. Like, how do we ring the dinner bells, what you're saying? How do we get them to come to us?
Yeah.
Well, it seems
It seems like they're into kind of
meat.
meat,
Yeah.
anything, kind of anything.
Yeah.
But
well, they done took it all, I think.
but also like, they're really hungry.
Yep.
More so now.
Why more so now?
I don't know. Why more so now?
Well, they kind of just took all the Luby's cafeteria with them, so, I don't think they're going to be hungry for a bit.
But what if they are still hungry?
Then we would need to roast some meats.
You know who else was really hungry out of fucking nowhere?
Who?
Big angry toad man. Devil toad guy. I feel like I should get better names for all these things.
Yeah. He was hungry all of a sudden?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it might be coincidence, but just...
You thinking some of them gnolls had some fiendish qualities, perhaps?
Well, considering some of them were undead.
Right.
There's
shit.
that whole, like, zombie gnoll thing.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. How could you forget that?
I have some weird dreams. What do you have in mind? Other nights.
What?
What?
I legitimately didn't understand what you said.
Oh, nothing. I got shit in my teeth.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
All right.
fine. Did you have a plan? Did you want to do something to ring
I
up?
was just kind of striking conversation.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll follow them to the barn broad.
Okay, let's go to the barn broad.
There is indeed, right on the edge of town, almost like the town was built to fill the gap in between, a very large barn that looks to have a lot of coiled rope, like hundreds of feet of coiled rope on the outside. The front doors are wide open, and you can see a number of folks are coming in and out, many of them with what looks to be cleaning supplies, heavy pieces of cloth, buckets, whatever can be used to start kind of getting rid of the remaining black splash and ashy covering of last night's destruction. There's a bit of commotion. You see a dozen or so Crown's Guard and a handful of armed volunteers that all appear to be in regular city farmer clothing that are all gathered in a loose huddle, with Bryce among them. You hear a loud, grating voice from within that huddle. As you approach from the outskirts, you see what appears to be a middle-aged male gnome of ruddy complexion and slicked, parted dark hair. He wears very clean maroon and gold robes, and that would lend an air of elegance were he not hopping around and pointing fingers. At which point he starts shouting between the crew, kind of just waving his hand around. Without any warning, which was your job, Bryce. With Reuben cold dead, that leaves no lawmaster to preside, forcing me to take that position as well. I do not need that added responsibility, but until we get a new lawmaster instated from Rexitrim, I have no choice. Bryce pipes up at this point, kind of glancing over and seeing your guys' presence. Starosta, I've sent a request to both Zadash and Blade Garden for a supplementary force, but it may be weeks before any would arrive. Can we send trained hands at my approval to retaliate? At which point the Starosta, which has now been identified, says, we cannot spare any of our forces while the surviving guard are drawn so thin. Out of the question! Maintain a vigilant perimeter and deflect any further incursions. Bryce nods slowly. Can we at least have permission to hire mercenary strength to retaliate then? I feel not being proactive before the Gnoll force can fully regroup would put us at a severe disadvantage, at which point it's cut off by the Starosta. Yes, that's fine! Hire outside. I don't want any more of my citizens' deaths on my record. Dismissed! And then immediately just kind of pushes through the Crown's Guard and storms off, which is hilarious to watch a gnome storm out of a group of people. And just kind of off of the huff is escorted by 3 Crown's Guard from behind out of that space. Bryce turns and smiles at all of you. I'm deeply sorry about that. Starosta Kosh is high-strung on a holiday, and tensions have never been this high since he was assigned here 8 years ago. So, please don't take that to heart. He's just a...
Dick.
Your words, not mine. Anyway, I want to thank you all again for your aid last night. I can't fathom the further death toll had you not been there and jumped in selflessly as you did. And thank you. We've needed more trained guard here for weeks, especially with Zorhas bleeding into the valley, but we're far too south to matter. Every request has been declined due to all necessary forces being needed at the garrisons by Broken Vale. If they were doing their jobs at the Bluffs, we wouldn't have so many reports of violent beasts in the valley in the first place. At least I've gotten approval for a bit more cash. And, to that, while I do not know what your business here is in Allfield, if you are still interested, we are in need of some skilled mercenary work.
We're going to kill all of them.
Yes, we couldn't help but overhear that you were asking for some aid. How long were you thinking you might need these replacements?
Well, I mean, until at least this threat has been dealt with in a satisfactory way. unfortunately not had my scouts return after they were sent the night before, which does not bode well. But I suspect we should see some sort of hopeful backup sent by Zadash or Blade Garden within the next week or two. In the meantime, we're a bit of a sitting duck scenario, so I sent a few guards to go to Zadash to see what other mercenaries could be sent forward. We do have some folks traveling on the road, and we'll keep an eye out to see if anybody else is looking for some coin, but for now, you are our first line of defense. Or offense, if you will.
Well, I think I speak for all of us. We're certainly up to the task for a bit. Well,
You're really tough.
maybe for a little less than a bit. Can I ask, are there any other threats to this town besides those gnolls?
Oh, there are plenty of threats. Let's see, famine, syphilis.
Things that come in on legs and with weapons, I mean.
Syphilis
Syphilis
can
comes
come
on.
with legs.
I feel like that was worth pointing out.
Yeah.
Why do both of you know
Not
that?
wrong.
Tiefling thing.
No. This backwoods place has its fair share of issues, as I've come to learn, as being not from the region. But it seems to me that nothing on this scale has quite assaulted in some time. I mean, there have been wandering rumors of terrible things and creatures wandering past the Jorhas border for as long as the Dwendalian Empire's been around. That's the whole reason of the garrisons up north. But this far south, generally, the god can keep things at bay. This is a very organized thing. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Well, this is new. Nothing on this scale.
It seems, it's from what we've seen, that they are hungry.
I've done a bit of research overnight, and it seems that gnolls are known to be very aggressively hungry creatures.
We are very experienced, but we'd like to know what we're talking about in advance.
Well,
what kind of money are we talking about?
The deal stands. 30 gold per gnoll ear, proof of a dead gnoll. If you can recover any of the missing townsfolk here in Allfield and bring them back safely, I'm willing to pay 25 gold a head, returned.
What if we find a dead body and bring it back?
Is there some lesser number for those?
There is, because even if they are gone, we would wish to bury those we've lost.
Typically their heads too, or just
Preferably all of them.
Okay.
Whatever you can find.
It is permissible, is what they're saying here.
I mean, seeing what these creatures did last night, I don't know what state you'll find any of them, but I'm just being hopeful. The only other bit of information I was able to pull from that was they have this thing, this entity that they worship. Pulls out a few small
the
notes.
fire hydrant.
Does it start with an A? Sometimes if you go down through the alphabet, A, B.
As you're saying this, they pull a small series of notes from their pocket. Yinagu.
Inagu?
Yinagu.
With a Y? That would have taken forever.
Well, let that be a lesson, young halfling. It sparks a memory in you. Information kind of floods your mind, and you recall hearing about various demonic leaders of the Abyss, creatures that once walked the Prime Plane. And you see images of this large, bestial, feral, angry demon.
Did I recognize Starosta Kosh? Did he seem like the type that would have made a little side trip down to, Because he seems like the type.
Was that a character DM?
Make
side
a
note?
I know. I'm like, I feel like I've learned.
make an intelligence check.
I am filing. I'm putting a wall between that.
I can't read your dice at all.
Intelligence. 18.
18.
Oh, shit.
The robe coloring is what caught you, and the hair, the specific like slicked and then kind of part comb. You have seen this individual before. You were younger, maybe like 8 or so years ago, 8 or 9 years.
Good to know.
But yeah. All right, as you walk into Broadbarn, on the far end as they're checking out, there is what looks to be an extremely old gentleman with this giant kind of just gnarled tuft of a chin beard that like just merges with this like halo, almost like a lion's mane of white hair. He has this really thin, long, crooked nose. Kind of looks like Ingeborg from Neverending Story, but no glasses. And he's trying to keep a smile in the rather dark faces of the people that are coming in with the evening's events coming around. As you guys walk in and approach, he kind of glances out and goes like, well, if y'all need something, y'all just let me know.
Oh boy.
Do you have any pickles?
Y'all want pickles?
You seem like the type of place that would carry pickles.
He leans back and rummages through what sounds like a small paper bag.
They come in barrels usually. You get the barrels of pickles.
There's like a small like glass mason jar with like 2 pickles, and he goes, I'm willing to part with these here pickles.
Is it poop? Is it poop in a jar, or is it pickles?
No, it's pickles. It looks like he may have just pulled it out of his lunch.
Yeah, only you would put poop in a jar.
That's true.
I could part with them for around 3 copper.
That is a good deal, sir, and I will give you the copper.
Do you need more copper? Are you all right?
No, hold on. No, I've got copper around somewhere.
Okay, because I'll give you 2 copper if I get one of those pickles.
Okay.
right. There we
Here,
are.
I picked some lint off one of the coppers that I have.
He takes the copper from
Actually,
you.
the 2 copper?
Takes the copper from you, slides for the pickles, goes, good deal.
Excuse me, I just inhaled my own spit. You know,
Don't do that. That is not conducive to a lengthy lifetime.
speed, go.
I am okay.
You want incense? That's fancy.
You do the pickle, I do the pickle.
I'm sorry, it's very noisy in the shop. What did you say?
It's really fancy. The incense.
Well, look at me. Can you not tell how fancy I am? Yeah.
That's why I'm curious.
Well, you know, I've been on the road a long time and I am carrying a smell with me, if you cannot tell.
I got incense.
To the point, I like it. I would like to spend about about 20 gold worth of incense. Do you have that much? I don't mean cheap shit.
What kind of establishment do you take me for?
Well, it's a barn, yeah?
Touche.
I know this may be a stretch. Do you have maybe any healing potions or anything like that? Or maybe, and this might be weird, some kind of poisons maybe?
That's pretty weird. That's I'm gonna say there, sir. I mean, you look pretty weird. That's a pretty weird request.
Thank you.
No, we do not carry poisons.
Even for dealing with pests on a farm, that sort of thing.
We have insecticides.
I think I would work on a knoll.
Yeah. Insecticide, pesticide, herbicide.
An insecticide generally refers to insects, and we're
But it's
talking
usually
knolls.
poison.
Yeah, but you ever
Does it
chug a
just
bunch
kill-
of
does it kill stuff,
insecticide?
though? I mean, yeah.
That's a bad day.
Stuff is bad for anybody,
Right.
I guess.
Is it flammable?
But we could.
Do
mix
I
it
know
with
if
some
it's
meat.
flammable?
Do it.
How much is
Do
it?
it.
How much is it?
For about a vial that big. Silver.
No.
You're gonna have to use a lot.
Like, what would that really? If I were to drink that right now, what do you think that would do to me?
Probably have some real serious shits for a few days.
How much for all this shit?
So I'll run you about 12 gold.
All right.
What are we doing? What is the plan?
Well, I mean, I would follow the direction that they left last night, see if we can find a trail.
We're just gonna go into the belly of the beast.
We were just
Because one of them shot me and killed me with an arrow.
I mean,
We could draw them out.
Yeah, you just stay behind Caleb. You'll be fine.
You didn't die, not. I saved you.
Thank you so much, but I don't want to be in that predicament again.
No, but yes, thank you.
Can we draw them out somehow?
Yeah.
They are fond of meat. Here's
Actually-
my idea.
Oh, yeah.
We stage a barbecue contest. Finest in the land. All the best barbecue will be there. And then when they come to sample our wares, I run and you kill them.
You know, I love that idea.
I want to guest stand it, though, yeah.
Small hiccup. Time, again, is of the essence.
Because you want to slow cook that stuff to be
dry
really
aged,
good.
right?
It's
Really
true.
get a good hickory chip under them. But, you know, problem is people might be dying in the meantime. So if we could find a more expedient solution.
I have
What
a
we wanna
question.
be in.
I have
Yeah.
a question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Are we trying to go back to these things where they live, their lair, their home, their camp, or are we just hoping to lock into them on the road? Or
I think we'd be making a best guess at this point. My best hope is to find out where they are, what it looks like where they're staying, and if we can, without confrontation, get some survivors out of there. That would be ideal.
well, I like that idea as well.
Actually, that's not a bad idea at all. Maybe we could have like a survivor like roundup team and then like a defense team.
It'd be nice.
So let's do this.
Let's go.
Before, are we getting another?
Look, I mean, no offense whatsoever. And if I can go find Bryce and see if we can get sort out the Watchmaster would be much more suited to make this happen. Oh, Reggie.
Reggie. I'm disappointed, Reggie. I don't know what else to say. Let's go.
About 5 minutes pass or so, and you can hear the clopping of hooves as Reggie comes back with a very obstinate beast on the reins, kind of dragging it towards you. It's slowly guiding it. Reggie doesn't seem to be very trained individual when it comes to handling creatures, especially beasts of burden. Will this do?
Oh, good. I see you brought us your best, Reggie. Thanks, man.
At this point now, you've been traveling for probably, we'll say, an hour and a half. It's getting close to noon. Yes.
No, actually, no, it's actually about 11:37, so we're not quite there yet. By the position of the sun.
Don't
Sorry.
It was right there.
I know. There is a series of large hills that kind of all break down into this valley where the grass just ends in this area. It just looks like it's barren rock and dirt. And you notice, with that perception check, what looks to be a few carts.
Should we pull the cart over and sneak up?
Yes, by foot is how we should proceed.
Okay.
Should we leave someone back to protect the horses?
No.
Seems a waste.
Would you want to be the one person that got attacked with the horses by yourself?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
All right.
We stick together.
All right. I'll be part of the Ford expedition.
I heard a groan from.
That wasn't a groan, that was like.
That was nausea. That was nausea.
I feel like I passed a stone. You come upon where the grass begins to fall off, and you stay low as best you can before the grass itself comes to an end right on the outskirts of where the central area between these hills begins. There, as you poke your head through, you can see 3 carts that are kind of scattered a bit amongst what looks to be a kind of a mine shaft yard. The exterior of a mine. You can see what appear to be large wooden pan tables. You can see some pickaxes that are leaning against the side. The carts themselves are spattered with blood. And you notice 3 creatures, similar to the gnolls that you saw the night before, but smaller and dog-like. These are just basic hyenas that are all gathered up around and are currently licking the blood that's been soaked into the wood. You see one of them ends up finding what looks to be a piece of meat or something that was hanging from one side and tears it off. And the one goes over and bites onto it, and they both begin tearing and fighting over it before one of them pushes the other over, and it kind of... 9. 9 again. 9. As you begin to look about the base of the closest hill facing away from where you guys had entered, kind of in an eastern direction, you see a pattern of grasses. A pattern of grasses that seem to be interwoven, meaning as opposed to a natural pattern, there is a consistent kind of mesh to the way they've been laid.
It looks like how we put the stuff over the cot.
And as you glance over, you can see what looks to be a net of grasses that has been woven and thrown over, leaving a small gap on the edge where you can see the dark exterior of what was a mine shaft structure entrance. So as you pull it back, you do see the wooden support structure of the interior of a mine shaft.
As soon as you pull it back and look inside, it looks like a barricade has been kind of partially placed up on each side. You see piles of broken furniture, stools and chairs that are shattered and kind of jammed into each other to form some sort of a barricade on each side. You can see kind of dry rotted pickaxe handles and other pieces of general wooden beams used for construction that are all kind of pushed up against the sides with a small path, maybe about 3 feet wide, that you could walk through to enter. There is a way. There's about a 2.5, 3 foot gap between this barricade where whatever made its way in. And once you enter through, you can now see, since there has not been dust put, there is a definitive trail of blood that is dragged through and caked in the loose dirt and dust.
You want to go into that dark, scary cave?
If I
Doesn't
may,
look that bad to me.
It is a dark, scary cave.
Frumpkin is still just a sweet little bird, so I thought maybe a little quick flight in.
Canary in a knoll mine.
Oh, smash! Smash! Oh,
Jeez, that's good.
We have to do it. It's too perfect.
I don't know if that's something Frumpkin can do, but unless not, you just want to, go in there and go kamikaze.
No, I'm drinking again.
Okay, you are now officially intoxicated.
Also,
I'll go in if you need me to.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh yes!
No! Oh, wow!
I am the one.
We get her hammered. She's the most fucking badass.
Oh my god, this is awesome!
Oh no.
My friend, I think maybe this is a time where you could, please don't go crazy, but maybe go in 30 or 40 feet. There's a room in there, and I don't think there's anything in there, but you would see.
I'm just gonna go in there and get the nose.
I'm gonna bless you before you go, so you can be sneakier.
Right.
Consonants are God.
I can bring the sparrow. You can at least hear what's going on, like a walkie-talkie. All right.
So if something bad is going to happen, just shake me, please.
I'll punch you in the face.
No, don't do that. Just shake me,
Just
please.
tickle his balls.
No, don't do that. Just.
I'm gonna go in.
Okay. Kind of move past the barricades, heading in towards the shaft. The barricade, like, there's a lot of stuff kind of jammed up here at the front, almost like it was barricaded from the inside long ago and then was cleared out partially going through. You make it through about the 35 or so feet of the shaft in towards where it opens up. You almost trip.
We're 12.
Because your toe catches something and you kind of uncatch yourself. And you look down to see what looks to be a long piece of rope that it was stretched across.
Oh, shit.
That just got tugged and falls slack.
You didn't see that?
You hear a and with your dark vision glance up and see what appears to be a large log that had been affixed to the ceiling come rushing towards you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
You're a wee baby rogue.
So, you, even in your somewhat hazy drunken stupor, see it just in time and back up as it right past your nose and slams into the wall to the left of you. It hits and you see the dust kind of settle from the ceiling.
That, my lads, was a dragon.
All right.
You guys all hear this from the inside.
Oh,
I'm okay. It was just wood. All right.
What?
I've heard
What's
a
going on?
confusing thing. Something fell down, but okay, we're good.
As you're glancing about, you can see that there are bags of supplies that are kind of partially sundered and torn open. You can see tools. Some that look pretty interesting. There's like a crowbar on the ground across the way. There's other sacks that haven't been spoiled yet. You glance over, and from the right chamber, you see as two gnolls have appeared in the entranceway and have entered up, seemingly called from the sound of the heavy impacting thud on the wall but a few moments
Are you
ago.
stealthed?
They both, no, he is not. She is not, sorry. They both arrive to the top of... They both grab their spears.
And I hear that, yeah.
I'm gonna say, help me now, please come in, help me, save my life, save my life.
They both begin to rush in to close the gap. The rest of you guys rush in. To get to him, it'll take the full round to get there. So you guys use your movement and dash. And since those of you who don't have dark vision, you can't see anything.
I've uncovered my sword at this point, so there's just a little bit of light.
Faint bit of light. The one is now taking a crossbow bolt to the throat and is taking a guiding bolt. You watch as this giant blast of light explodes around this knoll. It kind of yelps and it encompasses its torso. This glittering light. Now the next attack against it has advantage. It is super hurt, but it's still standing.
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. The other one gets blasted by the bolt of Eldritch energy. However, it's still snarling, and currently now they're both looking over at the sudden surge of newcomers.
I've also got a distance attack. I'm going to use Devil's Tongue on the one that just survived your hit.
Okay, what is it?
And I'm going to use Vicious Mockery.
All right.
And Infernal. Just, you will feed the dogs in hell.
Oh, I understood that.
Thank you.
Scary.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go to the super hurt one, and just be like, and grab it.
You reach up and grab it with your hand. You watch as a burst of electrical arcane energy surges through its body. You watch its veins just kind of pop poof, 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 up its torso to its neck before it collapses into the ground. You have to duck out of the way before it slams. It would have crushed you if you stayed in the space you were, but you sidestep in time as the knoll falls to the ground lifeless.
Am I in range? Where's the other knoll? Is it right on me?
Yeah.
Okay, I will bonus action disengage.
Alrighty.
And run all the way around to the other side of the room. If I
Okay.
It's an ear jar.
That's an ear jar.
All right.
Our pickle jar.
It's now an ear jar.
It's now an ear jar.
What happened?
We tried
How'd
to
they find you?
Oh.
I don't know. They're very clever. I was sneaking all the way down, and they still discovered me. I don't know how.
As not saying this, your eyes wander off of her over to the right where you see this heavy tree covered in jagged bark that's kind of...
That happened after they discovered me.
Right.
It's fine. I'll go down the tunnel and scope it out for us.
Before we do that, we should remember to check for traps, maybe.
Oh, can you do that?
I don't know.
I certainly can.
You can't.
No, I can't.
You can't.
Can't do
I
any
can
of that.
look for them.
I won't be able to find
I
them.
can look for them too. I don't know what a trap looks like.
Well, what did that one look like that you got hit with before?
Big piece of rope. Probably should have seen it.
Maybe look for rope crossing the ground.
All right.
Maybe we view this as an opportunity to grow, and we look for those now.
I will make a mental note.
Great.
Look for big pieces of rope.
Anything that looks
Crossing
out of the
your
ordinary,
path.
out of place, on the wall, on the floors.
Just have a peeky poo around.
Are
as
you still
go.
I'll have
shithoused?
a peeky poo.
Are you fucking hammered still?
Don't tell me what I can and can't drink. All right, so one path goes wiggity woo, and the other path goes yippity jow.
Were there any traps?
No traps. Oh yes, there was a trap.
Oh my god.
To be fair, there was one trap. I thought you meant any sprung traps. There was a trap. It's
you sussed it out.
I sussed it out. Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
How far down did you go each way? About
40 feet down the jiggity jow, and 25 feet down the zippity zoo.
Well, my instinct tells me that if there's something there that they would trap it, so probably more valuable if we're going on nothing. Take the path that is trapped.
I agree.
Agreed.
Here.
You're so smart.
Unless they want us to think it's the path that they've trapped.
Reverse psychology.
That's right, and it's actually the path that has least resistance.
Unless they knew that you would think that.
Oh, reverse psychology.
These are dog people? Let's take the path where they trap it.
Trap.
Down the path, the shaft winds for about another 150 or so feet before it's slowly levels out into what seems like a long chamber of multiple levels. What once looked like a solid mining vein is now strewn with bones and flayed skin pinned to the rock walls with scavenged nails. Blood spattered across them with intent painted a jagged smile of sharp teeth on each of these four hides. A faint source of light in the center flickers. What looks to be a small stone altar holding a cluster of candles in the central leveled platform. It looks like about 6 gnoll-like figures have gathered around this stone
We were
altar.
stealthing. We were stealthing on
Oh,
them.
I know. We're going to get to that in just a
Okay,
second.
okay.
While a strange 7th figure places small wet stones upon this altar, smaller than the other gnolls.
9.
It's like this is the wrong path, everyone. We should probably go back to the other. I'm sorry.
This figure looks gnoll-like. You see the ears and the snout. But as it reaches down and picks up these wet stones and places them on the altar, giving small, dark, muffled barks and kind of shape-leaping sounds, you see elements that look like smooth human flesh. And the more that you focus in, you can see this looks to be a humanoid figure that is wearing pieces of hollowed-out gnoll-like armor. A hood, missing a jaw that has been placed over the top of the head. Sections of arms worn like a glove with the hand missing, sifted through. It seems that a lot of the body parts are discolored and rotting a bit from what you can see from the candlelight that's flickering across it. You see long, bone-like spines, similar to what adorned the armor of that pack lord that you battled in the middle of the city last night, are also affixed to the outsides and kind of pierced through elements of the shoulders and head of this flesh gnoll hide that it's wearing. As it growls, mimicking the sounds of the gnolls that it seems to be residing along, the other gnolls around kind of pacing from foot to foot, impatiently, kind of begins to speak louder and louder at this altar as it places a final wet stone on it. All the remaining gnolls begin to bark in unison together. And they all at once leap onto the altar and begin tearing into the stones, which are not stones. They were glistening, at this point you see, hearts that are now being torn and swallowed by the gnolls at the altar. They finish devouring the hearts, and the humanoid figure begins to bark a few more times. And then a broken common says, "The hunger will be fate, ours and hers. Come," and points to 2 of them. "Help me carry more meat below. The rest, stay. Feast on what remains." And turns around, and you now look across the way on the other side of the chamber, darkened. You see a gnoll leaning in familiar armor, the one that you had battled and had left with the carts. Is just watching from the far end of the chamber. The weird kind of gnoll priest, I guess you could say at this point, that's been helming this little ritual, goes and joins the armored gnolls, steps aside and follows second. And the 2 gnolls that were assigned by it leave as well, leaving 4 in there, in the chamber currently.
Including the armored one, or no?
No, the armored one leaves with the priest. You watch as they begin to grab the bodies in the ground. You can see there are now the grinding of bones as they begin to drag broken corpses across the floor and begin to just tear into the torsos. Just
As that's happening, I'm going to just regained 9 hit points.
Ooh, 9!
This is getting ridiculous.
You watch as 4 hyenas kind of fill into the space where the gnolls are and begin to just sit at bay, kind of waiting for the gnolls to finish feasting. One of them kind of gets close, and the gnoll kind of just grabs its head and shoves it against the wall, and it snaps into the wall and backs up and then waits its turn. If we're planning to engage, should I show you the layout of where they're placed?
One's an archer, 2's an archer, 3's an archers.
They all tend to carry a bow on their back.
Shit, 4's an archer.
You can see now the hyenas that are waiting patiently. This one got knocked into the wall. They're just kind of scooting at the sides, waiting for them to finish their meals.
We're up on top up there?
You guys are up on here, which, for the purposes of...
Yeah, we're on.
Good thing we're metal.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna do something weird, and I hope it works and doesn't fuck the rest of us. Let me go like one more just so.
All right, 25.
That's good. And then can I reach in my bag and grab out, in my little pouch, grab out a handful out of my 1,000 ball bearings?
You do have 1,000 ball bearings. I remember that.
1,000 ball bearings.
1,000 ball bearings.
We had money. She bought a lot of fucking ball bearings.
1,000 ball bearings.
Yes.
All right.
And can I take it and just kind of like, you know how you can kind of like take your pocket and kind of flip it inside out and just have a bunch of ball bearings kind of go ting, 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 ting across this
You
way?
hear what sounds like hundreds of tiny metal clanks in succession as ball bearings begin to just spray down the stairs and scattering across the floor of the central makeshift ritual room as they kind of run through the various semblances of gore and the areas of the stonework that are exposed between. You have spent your action scattering.
Action?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a key point, and as my bonus action, take patient defense.
Okay, nice.
In Infernal, I'm just gonna say, I am too disgusted to think of anything clever.
So that would be,
This is with a bow.
yep. That's gonna be 10 points of piercing damage.
I'm going to like kind of cat paw try to catch the missile with deflect missiles.
Okay.
What do I to spend? Oh wait. Oh no wait. This is a key point.
Well, it's a key point to throw it back.
Oh no, it's a key point to throw it back. It's just a reaction. It's 1d10 plus 7. 9 plus 7, so 16.
You catch it in middle air, reduce it to no damage.
Fucking dope.
I just hold it out like a microphone and go ting ting.
Cling, cling. As you do that, the one on the bottom of the ground, who's closest to you, grabs its spear off the side of the wall and runs up the stairs.
It's gonna hit the ball bearings?
That's what I'm gonna make. We'll dexterity check to see if it can do so. That is a. It does succeed. It's a 15. It kind of slips, but it manages to make its way up the stairs, swing the bow back, try and crack him in the head. It actually slips on one of the ball bearings you had left, and as it manages to catch itself, it just falls out of range of your sweep of the bow. You're like, shit! You slip on one of your own ball bearings in the second strike, and manage to just catch yourself by grabbing the fur on the outside of the knoll and use its body to right yourself, and then it's a little slick and sticky. The other one is going to attempt to strike at you. Natural 20, it's a critical hit. 20 to 10. That pack tactics is nasty. That means you, for dice-wise, suffer 8 points of piercing damage. It takes 10, and it explodes into ice as well. You watch as both of these hyenas rush up and strike, and both in succession, just disintegrate into shards of ice across the ground.
That's the coolest spell ever.
It's so hardcore.
Spell's gone though, right?
That's it.
Not you're up.
Okay, I'll lean out from behind Mollymock's buttocks and just sort of rest the hand crossbow on his left cheek and fire on the knoll that's engaged with Ford.
Okay.
Firing. Ooh. 8.
As you drunkenly try and aim in the direction.
It's that bulbous butt.
Yep. You almost pull the trigger twice, but you're aiming it forward, and you're like, no.
Is there no advantage for engagement? Or?
No advantage, but he can sneak attack if he hits. That's how it works. And you finally go, and you watch as one of the elements of stone in the side of the cavern wall kind of, as the bolt just hits it and goes sideways.
Am I still hidden? No. That exposes me? Do I have to hide again? How do rogues work?
With your
you're revealed.
Oh, I was revealed. Okay,
So you have to
I have
find
to hide again.
You have to find a way to obscure something's vision to you before you can hide.
Got it.
Hardcore. Oh, that's good.
Yep.
That's an 18. Natural 18 plus 6.
As you run off the edge, the hyena takes a swing at you. You feel it snap at your heel, but does not actually grasp any of your body.
My foot just taps his arm just a little bit, and I leap
You
off
push
of
off of him, run across this wall, leap, hit this pillar, and then using the momentum, leap and land right in front.
And as I'm leaping, I
of
want to take the staff and just come down and go crack with a slap.
Make the attack. Go for it.
Double-handed.
Double-handed piece of shit. No.
Well,
Oh God, it's a 2.
It looks really cool, but as you swing down, the knoll manages to see you up in the air and just sidesteps as you hit the
I
stonework.
scream as I come down the hallway going, "Ah!" I just go pop into it.
As it's laughing at you with the complete miss. So as it's laughing, its jaws kind of dislocate and it snaps back into place because some of its teeth broke. It looks kind of dazed and hurt by it. It's looking pretty rough. Seeing that they're both beginning to to glance about and see that their allies are starting to back away, and there's a lot of you up in this upper area. They're both going to attempt to break away with the rest of the
I'm
movement.
definitely going to take an attack
past.
of opportunity on that one too as well.
Yep, both of you do.
Ooh,
They both,
yes.
both of them, as they're rushing, you both simultaneously strike back at it as they're trying to flee, and they just stumble down the stairs.
Tink.
20, 25, 30.
And I'm gonna say to it, "Hey you! If you spend all day in a well, well, that's a day well spent." And I'll cast hideous laughter on it.
It immediately goes. It falls on the ground on its back and is now rolling with laughter. Laughter that is like echoing through the halls and making its way through the tunnel.
Oh, kill him!
You made him prone. It's harder to hit that way.
Get closer!
Try.
Oh my god!
Wow. 2 and a 3.
Why?
Ball bearings.
So here's what you do: you walk up, tap tap, leap, and right as you're in the air, the knoll just kicks out the laughter, and woof, and rolls into the way, and you wham!
Okay.
You'll never recover from that injury.
That shit just hangs out in there. It just hangs out in there.
The worst,
The bones.
the worst funny bone pain shoots through your arm as you get up.
That's
You are
precise.
going to be rubbing Tiger Bomb into that shit for years.
Every time I try to show off, it never works. That's what I'm learning.
13 points of damage. How do you want to do this?
I think since it's on the ground, I would like to pin it into the ground if I can by finding the thinnest thing on it and just sort of jamming my short sword into the ground.
As it's like cackling and moving around, I like to imagine this all happening simultaneously. It's like Bo's in the ground holding her elbow, the weapon misses, and it's like rolling and cackling and starting to get up, and you're just like, there. And almost unceremoniously, it's like, it just falls limp on the ground where you place it. It's almost like the slow push from Saving Private Ryan. You're like,
I go around and I collect the knoll ears.
And it's
And
the
I put them
room-
in the jar. I have a question. How similar do hyena ears look to knoll ears?
they're noticeably smaller and not known.
What if we said they were baby knolls?
Baby knolls.
I'm going to cut them off just to be
Okay,
safe.
so
Remember to leave
so
room.
five sets of knoll ears
5 and 5, yes.
and 4 sets of hyena ears.
Okay, for now, I rolled an 11.
Okay, it does not appear to be trapped.
It's good!
Does it look good?
It's totally good.
Take a step back. You've earned this. I will open it just in case.
It's locked.
Oh.
I will
Wait a
pick
minute.
it.
Okay, so go ahead and attempt with a disadvantage to pick it. As the adrenaline pumps through your system, it kind of wakens you up a bit, and even with the intoxication that's been flooding your system, you still moment of clarity, and it opens without an issue. You glance at it, and then the chest looks like it's been bashed a little bit, like something was trying, like one of the gnolls was trying to get into it, and eventually just gave up and got flummoxed and threw it on the ground. As you open it up from the inside, you can see what looks to have been essentially a central medical pack, if you will, an emergency pack for any of the miners that had gotten hurt or wounded. So there are 2 healers kit in there. There are a number of like disinfectant herbs and funguses. Anybody who's proficient in medicine would know how best to utilize those. I don't know if any of you are.
Nope.
Then it's a risky endeavor to maybe use one, but you do find what looks to be a pack of a small leather kind of hand pack that contained 4 glass vials, 3 of which have shattered from the rough movements. It was tossed around, but 1 that is still intact. That contains a healing potion.
Is it a healing potion?
It is a healing. It is a greater healing potion, not a standard healing potion.
I hand it to Caleb.
Guys.
You need this more than all of us.
Fake confidence.
Are you clear now? How are you?
Cult of an
I'm fine.
How many
We live.
fingers am I holding up?
More than I think I have on my entire body. I think I don't have. I think I just have like 4 on each hand.
And thumbs, or Okay. You good? Do we need to get out of here?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're fine. I mean, is this the plan? We were supposed to free living people, but we got some arms. We could bring those back.
No, I don't think. I mean, yeah, we could, but.
Did say to bring back anything we could find.
Are there any identifiable body parts?
I think maybe.
You take a few minutes to look around, which gives you 2 notifications. One, nothing seems to be immediately coming into search as to what the noises were. And you do hear other distant sounds, impacts, and like cackling and stuff. And you get the sense that the tunnels deeper in have some activity. You also see that all the bodies in this chamber have been pretty much picked of any identifiable facets.
Wedding bands.
If you want to take some time to really pick through, you could try. You want to?
No, we're still
We're
trying to
too
get to
busy.
people here. So our options are: we press forward to something worse, or we backtrack and try the other direction, or we get out of here.
I'm pretty much out of spells now. But that's okay.
A short rest doesn't get us spells back, does it?
Not for her, it doesn't.
Well,
2-pack magic?
How are you with
Oh, I
that
do.
sledgehammer on your back?
what do you mean?
You are
Can you
carrying a
use it?
sledgehammer on your back.
Yeah.
How are you with it?
Oh, I don't know.
She's
It's a big weapon.
She's got a badass size.
It's more of a tool sledgehammer than a weapon
Yeah, I've got
sledgehammer.
a scythe,
Okay.
a sickle.
Okay.
sickle.
I'd
Sorry.
like to volunteer that perhaps we move forward until we can see whether there are any living people that we can help, and we make a decision then.
I concur.
Okay.
Let's make a pile of these bodies too, just in case maybe they think that they took each other apart.
Let's set them up like they all were making out.
Okay.
No, we don't have time for that here. We can't do that.
Like some sort of like a circle jerky sort of a
Yeah,
thing?
Yeah.
On the way out.
Yeah. Loosely prop them up like that. Yes.
Okay.
When we're victorious, we can do disgusting things as we leave. Not, I think you should take point again.
All right.
Well, while we
Regained.
wait for those 3 minutes, I turn to Molly and I say, do you remember anything in your recollections of this Yanogu? Inagu.
You'll play.
You'll play.
Yeah.
Is a female deity or a male deity? Do you remember?
It's hard to remember. There's a lot of aggression, anger.
Sometimes I'm kind of just wondering what that whole,
Yeah, why are you curious about that?
Well, the guy, the guy running the ceremony said that the hunger will be fed, ours and hers, right?
Bottomless.
That is what he said, right, DM? I didn't mishear that?
Yeah.
Exactly what was said, yes.
Do I remember anything about either gender, or that this would be an aggressive, like other than just I saw a lot of aggression and kind of a feral
That was
aspect to
it,
this.
yeah.
I just wonder who hers is. Who's that?
That is the crux of the matter.
As you guys are having this conversation, you hear one sound that varies very strongly from the others that have encompassed this tunnel sequence. You hear this female scream, this high-pitched, shrieking scream that says, "No! My baby!"
Oh no.
You're a
We have
mean
to
man.
hurry forward. This is what happens when we sit down and we talk.
We gotta
Babies
go.
die.
We gotta go. Can't fuck around with mama death.
We're moving forward
Yeah.
I charge ahead.
as quickly as
All
possible.
right, you guys rush down the tunnel deeper into the maze of mine shafts.
What?
And we'll pick up on that next week.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful week. We love you. Thank you for joining us, and visit Thursday at. Good night.